The Philippines finds itself navigating a complex geopolitical landscape, particularly in its relationship with China. At the heart of the tension lies the South China Sea dispute, a long-standing territorial conflict over resource-rich waters and islands. This dispute has cast a long shadow over various aspects of the bilateral relationship, including ambitious infrastructure projects that were once seen as symbols of cooperation. Among these, the Philippines' railway development plans have been particularly affected, highlighting the precarious balance between economic aspirations and geopolitical realities. The South China Sea dispute centers on overlapping claims over islands, reefs, and maritime zones. China's expansive claims, encompassing almost the entirety of the South China Sea, are contested by the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. These competing claims have led to frequent standoffs, diplomatic protests, and heightened military presence in the region. For the Philippines, the dispute represents a significant challenge to its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The country relies heavily on the South China Sea for fishing, energy resources, and maritime trade. China's assertive actions in the disputed waters, including the construction of artificial islands and the deployment of maritime militia vessels, have raised concerns in Manila about its intentions and the potential for economic and environmental damage. The dispute has also strained diplomatic relations between the two countries, hindering cooperation in various fields. While both sides have attempted to manage tensions through dialogue and confidence-building measures, progress has been slow and often overshadowed by incidents at sea. This climate of mistrust has had a spillover effect on other aspects of the bilateral relationship, including infrastructure development. China's rise as a global economic powerhouse has been accompanied by an ambitious infrastructure development drive, both domestically and internationally. Its Belt and Road Initiative, launched in 2013, aims to connect Asia, Europe, and Africa through a vast network of roads, railways, ports, and other infrastructure projects. This initiative has been particularly appealing to developing countries seeking to bridge infrastructure gaps and attract foreign investment. The Philippines, with its aging infrastructure and pressing need for connectivity, was initially receptive to China's overtures. Under former President Rodrigo Duterte, the country witnessed a warming of relations with Beijing, marked by a pivot away from its traditional ally, the United States. This rapprochement paved the way for increased Chinese investment in the Philippines, including several proposed railway projects. China's expertise in railway construction, coupled with its willingness to provide generous financing packages, made it an attractive partner for the Philippines. Chinese companies have a proven track record of delivering large-scale infrastructure projects on time and within budget, as evidenced by their extensive high-speed rail network and other projects across Asia and Africa. The initial agreements between the two countries promise to usher in a new era of connectivity and economic growth for the Philippines. The proposed railway projects, seen as crucial for improving transportation, boosting tourism, and facilitating trade, were hailed as game-changers for the country's development trajectory. However, the geopolitical realities of the South China Sea dispute would soon cast a shadow over these ambitious plans. One of the flagship projects envisioned under the China-Philippines partnership was the Luzon Economic Corridor, a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure development plan aimed at transforming the country's largest island. This ambitious project encompassed a network of railways, expressways, and other infrastructure designed to enhance connectivity, attract investment, and stimulate economic growth in the region. The centerpiece of the Luzon Economic Corridor was a series of railway lines intended to link key economic hubs and improve transportation links across the island. Among these, the Subic-Clark Railway, the Philippine National Railway South Line, and the Mindanao Railway were identified as priorities. These projects promise to significantly reduce travel times, alleviate traffic congestion, and enhance the efficiency of goods and passenger transportation. The Subic-Clark Railway, envisioned as a 71-kilometer line connecting the Subic Bay Freeport Zone with Clark International Airport, was expected to boost tourism and trade by providing a seamless link between these two economic zones. The Philippine National Railway South Line, a more extensive project spanning 380 kilometers, aimed to connect Metro Manila with the southern provinces of Luzon, reducing travel time and opening up new opportunities for agricultural and industrial development. The Mindanao Railway, the most ambitious of the three, envisioned a 1,532-kilometer network connecting major cities across the southern island of Mindanao. This project was particularly significant for its potential to spur economic growth in a region grappling with poverty, insurgency, and underdevelopment. However, the escalating tensions in the South China Sea would soon derail these grand plans, leaving the future of the Luzon Economic Corridor hanging in the balance. Section 4. Charting a new course. The Philippines pivots away from China. The election of Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. as President of the Philippines in 2022 marked a significant shift in the country's foreign policy. Unlike his predecessor, who had pursued closer ties with Beijing, Marcos adopted a more cautious approach towards China, emphasizing the need to safeguard Philippine sovereignty and territorial integrity in the South China Sea. This change in stance was driven by several factors, including growing domestic concerns about China's assertiveness in the disputed waters, as well as a desire to restore the Philippines' traditionally strong alliance with the United States. The Marcos administration signaled its intention to pursue a more balanced foreign policy, engaging with all major powers while upholding its national interests. The pivot away from China had significant implications for the country's infrastructure development plans. The Marcos administration expressed reservations about relying heavily on Chinese financing for major projects, citing concerns about debt sustainability, transparency, and potential geopolitical implications. The government announced its intention to review existing agreements with Chinese companies and explore alternative sources of funding and partnerships. This decision reflected a growing trend among Southeast Asian nations grappling with the complexities of engaging with China. While many countries in the region welcome Chinese investment and infrastructure development, they are also wary of becoming overly dependent on Beijing and are seeking to diversify their partnerships to maintain strategic autonomy. Section 5. The quest for new allies, Washington and Tokyo enter the fray. As the Philippines sought to reduce its reliance on China for infrastructure development, it turned to its traditional allies, the United States and Japan, for support. Both countries, eager to counter China's growing influence in the region, were receptive to the Philippines' overtures. They saw an opportunity to strengthen their strategic partnerships and promote a rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific. The United States under President Joe Biden has made it a priority to reinvigorate its alliances in Asia and counter China's growing assertiveness. The Biden administration has pledged to increase its economic and military assistance to the Philippines and has expressed strong support for its efforts to defend its sovereignty in the South China Sea. Japan, a close ally of both the United States and the Philippines, has also been actively seeking to expand its economic and security cooperation in the region. Japan has a long history of providing development assistance to the Philippines and has expressed interest in supporting its infrastructure development goals. Tokyo views its engagement in the Philippines as part of its broader strategy to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific. The Philippines' outreach to Washington and Tokyo reflected a growing recognition that strategic partnerships are crucial for navigating the complex geopolitical landscape of the Indo-Pacific. By diversifying its partnerships, the Philippines aim to enhance its leverage, reduce its vulnerability to pressure from any one power, and advance its national interests more effectively. Section 6. A trilateral pact, hope, and skepticism surround the new railway deal. In a significant development, the Philippines, the United States, and Japan announced a trilateral partnership to revive the stalled Subic-Clark Railway project. This agreement, reached in April 2024, committed the three countries to jointly invest $800 million in the 71-kilometer railway line, breathing new life into a project that had been jeopardized by geopolitical tensions. The trilateral pact was widely seen as a symbolic victory for the Philippines, demonstrating its ability to attract support from major powers and diversify its partnerships. The agreement also highlighted the growing convergence of interest between the three countries in countering China's influence and promoting a rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific. However, the trilateral partnership has also been met with a degree of skepticism and caution. Some observers have questioned the long-term commitment of the United States and Japan to the project, particularly given their own domestic economic challenges and competing global priorities. Others have pointed to the complexities of managing a trilateral infrastructure project, with potential for delays and disagreements over technical specifications, financing arrangements, and implementation timelines. Despite these challenges, the Trilateral Pact represents a significant step forward for the Philippines' infrastructure development goals. The Subic-Clark Railway, once operational, is expected to bring significant economic benefits to the region, boosting tourism, trade, and investment. Moreover, the project's success could pave the way for further trilateral cooperation on other infrastructure projects in the Philippines and beyond.